Hey everybody, it's Andrew. I've got a really exciting update for calendars. If you've used the calendar widgets within GoHighLevel, then you know that there is a two-step process for booking appointments using a GoHighLevel calendar. There is the date selector where you select a date and time, and then there is the form where you put in your name and details and submit. Typically, those are in a 1-2 step process. All right, so we are selecting our date first and then filling out the form. Well, now we have the ability to reorder those two. We can swap them around, and this also works with collecting payments on our calendars. There's a couple of things to note with this, so let me walk you through exactly how you can get started using this new feature. Now, on our sub-account level under settings, we can change any of these orders within calendars and then go into the settings of an individual calendar. So we're going to edit this free demo call right here. If we click edit and then go to forms and payment, you'll see the brand new feature that I'm talking about. You'll see right here, we have widget order. We have a little bit of an information thing here that says we can rearrange the date and time selector and the form order on the calendar widget. All you have to do is drag and drop in order to select which order these are going to be in. Now, for a typical standard calendar within GoHighLevel, by default, they are set up to first collect the date and time. So we can select the date and the time, and then move forward to the form where people can fill in their information and then submit. This is also where the payment information is collected if this is a paid form. Now, this works great for a lot of use cases, but there are some people that would like to collect the contact information first and then have them schedule a meeting. Obviously, with the default option, we are set to pick the date and time first and then have the form afterwards. That is this setup right here. Date and time is step 1 and form is step 2. And we have payments enabled as well. Whenever we have this set up, it doesn't schedule an appointment until after they select a time, fill out their information and pay, and then click submit, which is pretty standard. But if we flip this around, then we have a couple of new pros to this setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag form to become step 1, and I'm going to click save. Now, when we refresh this widget, you'll see the new order of our calendar. After we fill out our information and click continue, then we have the ability to select a date and time. Now, what's handy about this setup is that what we just did actually triggered the contact creation process within GoHighLevel. So now I am already a contact within GoHighLevel without having booked an appointment. This can be great if you're trying to capture leads and maybe filled out a form, but then didn't finish the appointment booking process. So like I said, there are pros and cons to both of these. But what happened on the back end is a contact was just created, but an appointment won't be scheduled until obviously I select an appointment time, and then click select. Then it moves us to our payment step if we have payments enabled. If we don't have payments enabled, then it will immediately book the appointment, no problem. But if we get here, then now we would pay for the appointment here. Now, just to be abundantly clear, if you have payments enabled, it will not book that appointment for that date and time until they have paid. Once they have gone through that first screen, they now have 10 minutes to pay before it times out. If they don't pay before then the appointment will not be booked. Now, a couple of other things to note whenever you do have payments enabled. As you just saw, we filled out the form, so a contact was created. We selected a date and time, but appointment wasn't scheduled, and now we're at the payment section. So an appointment will not be scheduled until they pay, but the slot will show as booked. So that way we don't end up in a scenario where people go through and someone pays first for a time that someone else already selected. They do have 10 minutes with that spot basically reserved until they pay for that appointment specifically. And then after those 10 minutes are up, then the appointment will open back up for other people. One final thing to note is that when you have it set up in this manner, then you essentially have a form submission and then an appointment booking kind of separate. So if you do have workflows that are triggered off of forms, then your workflow will be triggered after a customer submits through that very first screen, but only for the form submitted trigger. So let's say a contact goes through this process, they fill out the form, they don't book an appointment. Your workflows that trigger off of a form submitted will be triggered, but the appointment scheduled will not be triggered until they actually schedule that appointment by either paying, or if payment's not enabled, by just selecting the time and clicking submit. Regardless, this is really handy because you can collect customer information before they have booked an appointment. So this can be really helpful if maybe you want to get people's information and then reach out to them and see why they haven't booked an appointment already. Or if you're happy with the classic style, then you can simply put date and time selector as step 1 and leave form as step 2. Either way, there's use cases for both of these, pros and cons for both of these options, but it's a really cool new feature that's going to give us some more additional flexibility and functionality for us and our clients. So I wanted to let you know, and I hope you found this as helpful as possible. If you have any questions about this feature, then leave a comment. As always, thank you so much for watching.